What's going on, y'all? This is Chris Classic dropping a car vlog on the way to work. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you also subscribe to our C3 Ultimate Wrestling YouTube channel, me and my wife's pro wrestling company. God bless you guys. Thank you for kicking it with me on a Thursday. I'm on the way to work, like I said. And sometimes that's what we got to do. We got to work. We got to work hard and everything like that. So everything that we're working hard for, I pray that we get it. I pray we follow what God has for us as well. God bless y'all. As promised, we are going to talk about the WWE Women's Division, and do they have a problem? Yesterday, I talked about the AEW Women's Division briefly, so make sure you like that one and comment and watch it. But let's go. Does WWE have an issue with the Women's Division? I would say yes. Now, I want to clarify, even yesterday, that they both have talented women, and some of this is not even really their fault. Actually, I think a majority of it is not their fault. Like, if besides like lack of training or even like a desire to get better, I will say that. But I do think that's also on the company's fault as well. Now, WWE has a lot of people are saying that the women's division in WWE is better than AEW, and I would have to agree. I think that the top champions, Bianca Belair and Charlotte, they're the top for a reason, and they show every time they wrestle, most of the time they wrestle and everything like that, that the stuff is good, that this is main event caliber stuff, and this is main event material and stuff like that. And then I look at the champions that are in AEW. As much as I like them, you do see certain things, that I don't think they're presented as much. So I will say that as far as a good thing, because I said a few good things in AEW's thing too, so it's only fair to say it in WWE. However, I do think most of it is political things, it's politics and stuff like that. And I think that whatever they're saying to these women in the back in WWE, you can kind of tell that it affects their performance or their position on the card. For example, Lacey Evans, right? So Lacey, she started off with like the Southern Belle gimmick, and I loved that. I was really rocking with that. I loved it. I thought she did great. Your nasties and all that, the accent, the women's right. I thought that was good. Something that you could even turn into a face if need be. But she did a great job. And then it was the situation with Ric Flair, being with Rick and stuff, feuding with Charlotte. So, I'm assuming, and maybe it's true, she probably was going to be a women's champion soon, somehow in that mix. And then she got pregnant. And when she got pregnant, they said, let's just drop everything. And then they did the thing where she was telling a story about her being in the army and her father being abusive and all of this stuff. It was so random. And then it was like one time they did like a promo, and then they addressed the crowd and said, do y'all want to see Lacey Evans? And then the crowd was like, yeah. And then she came out. So I was like, why didn't she just do the promo since she was there? And then they dropped that. Now she's a heel again. Now she does the Cobra Clutch. Now the army thing. Like, to me, and it's not just her. It's just that I do think that sometimes they don't know what they want to do, or maybe they don't see something in somebody. But sometimes it makes them look kind of bad. I love Oscar, right? Oscar's very good and stuff. But it's just like, after she lost, and I knew it when she lost to Charlotte, which was a good match, by the way. I just knew she was either going to lose a lot or they just didn't know. They teamed her with Kairi Sane for a little bit, and then they were managed by Paige, of all people, called the Kabuki Warriors and stuff like that. WWE has a tendency to match and pair people who have the same nationality together just because they have the nationality in common and stuff. So, same thing, Carmella, it was like confusing a little bit. All right, she did the hip hop, Mella is money. She kind of reminded me of like how Liv was in NXT, and then she started wearing the money stuff and all of that. Hey, they paired her with James Ellsworth and things. And it's like some things work and then some things don't. And then she came back and she was like glamorous and stuff like that. It kind of reminded me of like even Emma. Even Emma's back, but we think about Emma. Emma, she did the bubble thing, and then she was in Up, and then all of a sudden she left, and then she was Emelina for a day. because she really low-key, she created her Instagram account and people was responding to their pictures and stuff. So they decided to take advantage of it. And they did it the bad way. She showed up as Emelina for one night, and then she said she going back to Emma. Then she went heel, release, unreleased, release, unreleased. So now she's back and stuff. Shout out to her and stuff like that. So there are some inconsistencies on characters and character development and stuff like that. You know, Bayley came back after injury. And then even how Bayley returned with Io Sky and Dakota Kai. Like, Bianca and Becky just had a banger at SummerSlam in Nashville, and then Bayley came out, and then it was like, oh, okay, Bayley, all right. So then Bianca, she was selling like, okay, this is a big deal. Bayley's out, and then Dakota comes out, and then Bianca was like, oh, okay, hey, look, it's Dakota, and then you can also see like Bianca like taking the jewels and stuff out of her hair. I don't know if they was meant to see that. And then by the time Io Sky came out, Bianca looked bored. And it was like, to me, the reveal took too long. It took too long. Maybe if they attacked Bianca or something like that. To me, I'm not that big a fan of Damage Control. It's nothing against the ladies. It's really not. It's just a presentation. You know, I didn't think that Bayley was going to win. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong. People predict stuff all the time. I didn't think she was going to win the title and stuff like that. I know that Io Sky and Dakota, they have the women's tag. But, you know, we know that they're not really doing much with that. But a lot of things are very inconsistent with WWE. You know, just like with AEW as well. You know, I feel like the AEW side, I do feel like you do get somewhat fresh matchups, but then in WWE you get some that are very, very still. I do hope that they push Raquel Rodriguez. Is it Gonzalez? Because I know she switched. I think it's Gonzalez now. I do wish they push Raquel, because I do think she has a look, and I think she can be a star. You know, I think they're doing a great job with Bianca Belair and with Rhea Ripley, but like, you know, now we relied on the 4 horsewomen. Now it's only 3 there, but still, now it's time to start molding the younger people as well, because they are becoming the vets and they are becoming the staples. Now, even talking about politics, you know, I do want to speak about a wrestler that is no longer there, and that is Mercedes Moné, formerly known as Sasha Banks. I do think that WWE really dropped the ball with letting her go. I do think that if the rumors and assumptions are true that she wanted as much money as Becky, Charlotte, or anything like that, especially Becky, they should have gave it to her. It should have been a no-brainer. Should have been a no-brainer. I just don't understand how you just didn't think she was as good as Becky. And to be honest, no shade to Becky, I do think that Charlotte, I do think that Moné is a better wrestler than Becky Lynch. I've always said that, and I'm like, okay, Becky will have her time. And then when Becky had her time with the man and with everything, Becky 2 belts, big time Becky, all of it worked. But to deny, I'll call her Sasha, but to deny Mercedes Moné her hard work and her ethic, and to say that she was very unprofessional and she's a brat, and then you see how Charlotte and Becky was when they exchanged belts. You see how Charlotte acts sometimes. You see, you know, and there was no repercussions and stuff like that. And to like try to drag Moné and Naomi under the bus. And Naomi is another one who is very talented. And I really felt that she should have stayed in the main event scene as well. You know, I know she's a 2-time SmackDown champion, but she got the belt when the SmackDown Women's Championship was being hot potato like every 2-3 months. So I will say that. But yeah, I do think they should have paid Moné, if this is true, as much as a Becky and things like that, because I do think and know that people draw. She draws. She draws. You get what I'm saying? She draws. People dress up like her. People want to see her and stuff like that. When she left, now she's in New Japan for a little bit. She's wrestling this weekend and stuff like that. People are going to pay for that. People are going to bootleg it. People are going to watch it and stuff like that. You know, I do think that they should have tried their best to keep Mercedes Moné as a Sasha Banks. I truly think so. I just think the reasoning is talking about, you know, not thinking she's worth it. That makes people of color do scratch our chins. with certain things, and looking at people having attitudes and airing their grievances out, emptying the clip, you will, on social media. So it's not even just her. You know, to me, Gail Kim is one of the greatest women's wrestlers ever, and to me, to not have her as an agent or a trainer or anything is disrespectful. The way she walked out of the business was crazy too. She just crawled under a battle royal, and people didn't even pay attention. So like I said, with WWE things, sometimes it's not even much about like the actual wrestling prowess that they show and that they highlight. You know, I do think now they do give women more opportunities, but at the same time, it's more of a politic thing, and I do think they dropped the ball on a lot of people, not just females, males as well. But what do you guys think? I want to talk more about it, but I'm probably going to let it go. I got to get to work. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. This is Chris Classic. Let's take it home.